Let's start off, guys, by talking about a man who is always in very sharp focus in every single transfer window, it would seem, over the last few years, and that is Harry Kane. And his boss right now, Ange Postecoglou at Spurs, has been talking about him, Carve.
Yes, he's been talking about Harry Kane before Spurs flew from Australia to Bangkok as they continue their pre-season tour. And basically, from what he's been saying, kind of get the feeling that he wants the whole saga surrounding Harry Kane to be settled sooner rather than later. He said, for everyone concerned, we don't want it to be going on for too long. I don't think that's good for anyone. I don't think it's good for Harry either. And he goes on to say, but look, the flip side of it is, I don't want to put any pressure on Harry Kane. He's still got a year left on his contract. And he also goes on to say that deep down, we don't want this going on for too long. And I thought one of the final points he made was it sort of showed his frustration with the fact that he's always getting asked about Harry Kane. His first news conference when he became the Spurs manager, I think our colleague Michael Bridge, you only get 3 questions at those news conferences. His third question had to be about Harry Kane.
Sure, yeah.
And Ange Postecoglou was like, I can't believe it, mate. You know, my first press conference, third question, you're asking me about Harry Kane. But that's something that Michael had to do. But he said, look, you know, we need this sorted sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He's in a situation where Ange Postecoglou has a very specific style of football he wants to play, perhaps a little bit different to what Spurs have seen recently. And when you've got a player like Harry Kane, who is one of the greatest strikers in the world, you've got the opportunity to build a team around him or not, as the case may be. And Ange Postecoglou won't want to go through 6 weeks of pre-season, implementing a style and a DNA into that set of players for then the big piece, the key piece, to be taken out at the last moment. And suddenly they've got to go and find someone else that can play that role. And I think that's where you get the sense of frustration from the new Spurs manager. He's a no-nonsense guy. He says exactly what he thinks. He doesn't beat around the bush. He's very honest and upfront. And like Carve says, a sense of growing frustration there, because this situation will affect him every single day in training and in every single media press conference, and that's the problem he's now got.
Let's talk about Manchester City, Mark, and a few big names have already left the club this summer. Could more be on their way out?
Yeah, it certainly seems like it. You know, they've had an incredible few years. Last season doing the treble was absolutely magnificent. Obviously, the Champions League was the cherry on top of the cake. And one player that's been at the heart of everything Manchester City have done over the last few seasons has been Kyle Walker. But speculation continues to mount about his future. Didn't get a lot of game time. I know he was frustrated at not starting the Champions League final, although he did get his introduction eventually. There are talks between Bayern Munich and Manchester City over a potential deal for Kyle Walker, 33 years old, who's entering the last year of his current City contract. One of the key parts of this information is that Bayern Munich are willing to offer him a 2-year deal with a 3rd-year extension, whereas Manchester City are discussing potentially just a 1-year extra on top of his current deal. So he would extend his career quite significantly and get a new opportunity to go and play in the Bundesliga. So not only is Harry Kane being linked with a move to Munich, but so is Kyle Walker.
Yeah, I mean, there are similarities there, but I suppose there are some in the sense that Kyle Walker's won everything, generally, that there is to win, and Harry Kane is without that sort of winner's medal, if you like, of any sort.